Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of GirlExec. I'm Aisha, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing friend, Christy. Today's episode is Interviews 101. Preparing for an interview is one of the most stressful things that we can experience. We know that we have a lot to offer, but thinking about how to communicate that to someone else, how to summarize sometimes years of experience, and how to prepare for this unknown set of questions can be very stressful.
So today we want to share proven tips and models to help you prepare for your interview process, including tips for interview preparation, the interview itself, and the interview close, so that you can enter your next interview with confidence.
So the first phase is preparation, and this phase involves four mini actions in itself. The first thing is spend time thinking about what makes you great. Preparation involves a great deal of quiet time. What experiences have you had? What types of projects have you delivered? What talents and skills do you bring to the table? And what do you seem to do better than most? You have to be clear on these things to share them with someone else. Once you've identified in general what makes you great, I want you to identify the three most awesome things that you have done. What business process have you helped improve? What special project have you contributed to? Identify whatever is your top three things and really think about what you did, why your contribution mattered, and how you helped drive the result. Be clear on this. Number three, write this down. You increase your clarity by 100% when you write. It forces you to organize your thoughts, which leads to a more organized interview. And it also, as you write, helps to instill those points in your mind so that they're there and that they're ready to give you confidence when you bring them out. The last piece is practice sharing these experiences out loud and preferably with someone else. Interviews are not silent, and nor should your preparation be silent. These are discussions out loud. So whether you practice in the mirror, with a girlfriend, via recording yourself with your phone, make sure that you practice a few times so that you can become comfortable and confident sharing your greatness.
So with this preparation, you're ready to shift to managing the actual interview. First, be ready for that opening question. We all know it. So tell me a little bit about yourself or your experience. You must be ready for this question and to be brief and focused in your response. Really, this is your headline or summary for you. When I think about this, there's a very simple model that some of you may be familiar with, and it's called the STAR method or STAR model. In this, you describe a situation, the target or goal of the situation, the action that you took, and the results that came as from the actions that you took. And when I think about this in my phase, now leading a consultancy, people may ask, so Christy, tell me a little bit about Kairos Insights and tell me about the work you've done. Here's an example of how I would use the STAR method. So I had an opportunity to work with the Dean of the School of Medicine. And in my consulting with them, they identified that they really wanted to improve the engagement and performance of the organization and would consider a restructure of the organization. So the first thing I did is I assembled a team, and the team and I went and we had interviews with a sample population of that group. Through those interviews, I was able to really extract what are the themes of what's going well and what's challenging in the organization. From those themes, I was able to then make recommendations on changes to that organization. And the recommendations landed in four areas. One was what we would do to improve the overall health and engagement of the organization. The second piece was around how we actually restructure the organization and people's responsibilities. The third was development for individuals and their roles. And the fourth was development for the dean themselves. And as a result of that, they went through a restructure and started a whole development experience. And now there's a new culture that's really present that you could feel in the atmosphere when you work in this division.
Where do I sign up? That's excellent, an excellent example, Chris. And I just have to say, I'm so proud of you. But you did a great thing in your example, because the next point is have the courage to use I versus we in your interview. So many of us spend the entire interview talking about we. We did this and we did that. And although uncomfortable, an interview is definitely a time to talk about I. You must be clear on what you did so that the interviewer can understand your contribution to the results and what you may be able to do for them. Having said all of this, we don't want to mislead you. We can never prepare for 100% of what happens in that interview. People will ask us a lot of questions, and sometimes they throw us a doozy, and we're like, wait a minute, I didn't expect that one. So we want you to know that it is okay to pause and think before you answer the question. If you get one of those tough ones, you can say, that's a very good question. Please give me a second to think of a great example. Take the time to do this. It is much better than feeling pressured to just rattle any old thing off, which may not serve us as well. Be prepared for one of those other common questions. Do you have any questions for us? That question will come. And the key is to ask insightful and open-ended questions. You can ask things like, what do you love most about working for this organization? Or how would you describe the company culture? Things that really give you the insight that you need. The key is to avoid asking people questions that put them on the defense, those common ones. So when will you make a decision? Do you think I'm a good fit for the job? Those type of things make your interviewer uncomfortable, and you definitely want to stay away from that as one of the last impressions that you make in your interview.
So a last impression you do want to leave is really going for that hard close where you're positioning yourself and you're sharing with them. So thank you for your time. And I'm really, really excited about this opportunity. I do think that I would be a good fit for these reasons. If you know about the organization and the role intimately, you could take time to even translate and say, I really think that my experience here would be a good fit in being able to deliver what is expected in that role. So it paints the picture in their mind. And then after the interview, please remember to send a thank you note. And when you send a thank you note, it's not a 1 to 2 page. It is a brief. Thank you for your time. Still very interested. Think this would be a great fit between me and the organization. And with that, you keep it fresh in their minds. So we hope that you use today's tips in your next interview preparation and process to walk into that interview with confidence. Please share this episode with young professionals you know who are entering into their first set of interviews. And as always, be sure to subscribe to GirlExec for conversations to enrich your career in life.